Welcome to another back of the net recording. This is dividing in a given ratio. This is the 8th time I've recorded this one, and every time I record it, it seems to have problems downloading, so I really hope that this works this time, so you're able to learn from it. Okay, first of all, just move that out of the way. Identifying the question, really crucial here because it's often quite wordy. A school collected £272 for charity. It was decided to divide, so there's a big tip there, the money between Dr. Bernardo's and the RSPCA in the ratio, and that's really where you need to identify that this is the question technique we're going to use. And when you see that, the technique you're about to see is what you need to be doing. Okay, so I've identified it's dividing in a given ratio question. The first thing I'm going to do now is write down my two ratios, and here it was 3 and 5. I then start to construct a table around that information. And I do this every single time, even though I think the question is relatively straightforward, and the reason I do it is just slipping in and falling into this technique will actually just calm your nerves a bit in the exam and give you something to focus on and not panic too much. So, I started with a 3 and a 5, I've drawn a grid around that, I've added a total column, and down here I identified that these are my shares, and I'm now going to calculate the amount. I'm just going to write in here which two charities it is. Now it was Dr. Bernardo's and the RSPCA in the ratio 3 to 5. Now Dr. Bernardo's came first and the 3 came first, so it's Dr. B there, and then RSPCA can go in there. I've also been given one extra bit of information that I haven't used yet, and that was that the total amount was £272. So I'm now going to fill in the total amount as being £272. Okay, going back to the work I've got to work out, the shares were 3 and 5, which gives me a total of 8 shares altogether. Now, I know those 8 shares came to £272. So I'm able to work out what each share would be worth by doing 272 divided by 8. So I'm going to write 272 divided by 8, and it equals 34. So I've identified that my multiplier for this question is times 34. And it means that anything on the top line will be multiplied by 34 to give me the corresponding value on the bottom line. So I can just go in there and write times 34 times 34. Go away and do my calculations. 5 times 34 is 170. So I can now write 170 in there. And 3 times 34 is 102. So I can write 102 there. I also know that 102 plus 170 does give me 272. So the question must be right. So I can now write that Dr. B actually gets, now really important to write the pound sign there, 102, and the RSPCA would receive £170. Question done. In terms of a mark scheme for that, that would be worth 1 mark, and I expect you get 1 mark for each of those. I shouldn't have put M1s because that normally means a method mark. I should have put A1s for those, just getting them correct. Okay. Here's a question for you to do. Don't forget it's slightly different here because I've got 2, 3 and 4, but with the same table, just with an extra column added in. If you'd like to press pause now and have a go. Okay, welcome back. First of all, identifying the question. This is a crucial skill in the exam, really. So money is split. We didn't have the word divide, but we have got split there between Pete, Alan and Helen in the ratio. There we go, 2 to 3 to 4. So straight away, I know it's a dividing in a given ratio question. So I write down my ratio first of all, as I was given it, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to construct my table around that. Let's just do it in blue so you can see the bits that you will need to add. I'm going to put my total, and we had Pete, Alan and Helen, and don't forget we got the share and the amount. Any extra information in the question? Well, yep, I've got the bit where it told me it was £36. The total was £36. I'll now do some work myself. So 2 add 3 is 5, add 4 is 9. So I know there was 9 parts altogether. 36 divided by 9 equals 4. So I know my multiplier is going to be 4. So I write times 4. Really important, because just writing that there, you've got a mark already. I'd write them in there as well. And now I do the answers here. I'll put them in blue. 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16. Add that all together. 8 and 12 is 20, add 16, 36. I know I'm right. So down here I can write P, A and H. Don't forget the pound sign each time. And it was 8, 12 and 16. I hope you got those correct. Fairly straightforward question. Really, really important to draw this table. It does support your learning. It does support you in the exam. Lots of people think, oh, I can do it without it. But the exam is a pressurized condition and it needs something to fall back onto. And that method here is really nice to fall back onto. It gives you that security you need when you're panicking in an exam or when you're anxious in an exam. Another question for you. £54. Off you go. Press pause. Welcome back. I nearly did that question for you without giving you a chance. So £54 is split. There's a split bit, the important bit, and in the ratio. So you should have identified, well, you knew it was anyway, didn't you really? Dividing in the given ratio question. I write down my ratios: 3, 4, 5. Start drawing my grid around that. Gonna add a total. Gonna put a share. Gonna put an amount. Doesn't need to be super neat. I'm not always, as you can see. Arnie, Barney and Clancy. Well, I never. A, B and C. Okay. Was I given any more information in the question? I haven't got my table yet. Yes, I've got that £54 here. So I need to put that into my table. 54 is a total pounds, total money. And now I'm going to add this up. 3 add 4 is 7. Add 5, 12. So I know the total parts are 12. I've now got to work out my multiplier. 54 divided by 12 equals 4.5. You can use your calculator for that. Now I'll write down nice and clearly with a big arrow, because that's my mark. There you go, 1 mark for your exam already. I'm going to go ahead and write down here as well, it's times 4.5 for each of those. And now I just go down and do those calculations. I'll put them in blue pen so we know what we've worked out and what was given to us. 3 times 4.5, £13.50. It's important to write the 0 of the 50 there. Whenever you write a money amount, you must always put all the pence in. Not just the first column, the tens of pence, we need the hundreds of pence as well. 4 times 4.5, £18. And 5 times 4.5 is £22, or 22.5, is 0, £22.50. There we go. If I add that up, yep, I'm there, £54. I know I've got the question right. And in the exam, you probably have some lines to fill in here with different amounts. In terms of a mark scheme for that, I would say 1 mark for identifying that. Probably 2 marks if you got all 3 of these correct, and then 1 mark for any 2 of them. Okay. I'm going to do this question for you because it's a slightly different type. Still read it. General purpose concrete is made by mixing cement, sand and aggregate in the ratio 1 to 2 to 4. So straight away I'm thinking that's one of my dividing in a given ratio questions. Harry needs some concrete to repair a garden wall. He uses 4 buckets of cement. How many buckets of sand and aggregate should he use? Okay, well I've identified it's a dividing the given ratio, so the first thing I'm going to do is write down my ratios, 1, 2 and 4. I'm going to stick with the same method of the grid that I had before. A total, that's my share, and my amount, and it was cement, sand, aggregate, CSA. I was also given another bit of information in the question, and that bit of information was the 4 buckets of cement. So I need to write a 4 under the cement. And just as before, the next job is to identify my multiplier. But this time, I don't have a total. What I do have, though, are these 2 filled in here, so I can link the top line to the bottom line of my table using this bit of information about the cement. And quite clearly, 1 times 4 gives me 4. So I can identify that as times 4. My multiplier is times 4. So, 2 times 4 is 8, 4 times 4 is 16. Add these up, 1 add 2 add 4 is 7. 7 times 4 is 28. 4 and 16, 20, add the 8, 28. I know I'm correct. Nice question there. Here's one for you to try. Press pause. Welcome back. Okay. The sides of a triangle are in the ratio 2 to 4 to 5. The middle side is 28 centimetres. Okay, it's this bit here that tells me, yet again, dividing in a given ratio. So, use my technique, which should be familiar by now. 2, 4, 5. Draw my grid around that. Let's have a total. Now I was told the middle side is 28, so there must be 2 other sides, a shorter and a longer. So I'm going to go for small, medium and large. This is my share. This is my amount. There we go. Any other information in the question I've been given? Yes, the 28 is the middle. So let's write the 28 in there. And as before, I need to identify my multiplier for the table. There is no total at the moment, so I can't use that as I would have done previously. This, however, is linking the top line to the bottom line. How do I get from 4 to 28? Times 7. So my multiplier for the whole table is times 7. Always write that nice and clearly there. Go back and fill in the remainder of the table. 2 times 7, 14. 5 times 7, 35. Add those up. Should be 77. Add these up. 11. 11 times by 7 is 77, so I'm fairly sure I'm correct. Second bit of the question, find the perimeter of the triangle. Well, the perimeter of a triangle is the distance right the way around the outside. So it's all the sides added together, which I've already done. Answer was 77. So my perimeter is 77. Notice there was nowhere here on the paper down here to write the answer or whatever. There probably will be in yours. what I didn't know there was whether they gave me the units. They haven't done. So I'm going to write in those centimetres there. That may have got me an extra mark. Sometimes when they come to finalising the paper and they've got 99 marks and they're looking for a way of adding an extra mark somewhere, they leave the centimetres out of the answer bit that's normally down there, expect you to put it in, and if you don't put it in, they don't give you a mark. But just for writing CM, really simple. Get in the habit of doing it. Okay, that's all for dividing the given ratio. I hope that was helpful to you. Go away and watch another back of the net video.